and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Ritu Singh, and here are the key headlines from the startup space. India can become our largest market, says Cameron Adams, the co-founder of online design platform Canva, bets big on localization and launches the platform in Hindi. That's an exclusive. IPO-bound Ola Consumer, which runs the cab-hailing service, has achieved profitability at the EBITDA level in the mobility and financial services segment in FY24. Full-year EBITDA, including discontinued operations, tripled to 271 crore rupees from 87 crores the previous year. Parent ANI Technologies standalone revenue came in at 1,906 crores in FY24, down from 2,135 crores in the previous year. MSys Technologies, a company that provides digital transformation solutions to businesses, has acquired Gophers Lab, a digital and fintech engineering startup. The integration, along with Gophers Lab, specialization in fintech, Golang, and Cloud Google, empowers MSys Technologies to solve complex technology challenges and create next-generation AI-driven fintech and API ecosystems. JioStar, the recently formed joint venture that merged Viacom18 and Star India, announced the launch of Jio Hotstar, a new streaming platform that brings together content from Jio Cinema and Disney Plus Hotstar. This also means the platforms are merging their content and pooling their subscribers together. And TikTok returned to the US app stores of Apple and Google as President Donald Trump delayed a ban on the Chinese-owned social media app and assured the tech giants they will not be fined for distributing or maintaining it. The delay could have been because Google and Apple were awaiting assurances that they would not be prosecuted or for hosting or distributing the app, according to analysts. Well, those are the headlines that we're tracking for you today. Now, in what's brewing, Amazon-backed voice-based payment and commerce solution provider ToneTag has raised 674 crore rupees, or about $78 million, in a mix of primary and secondary deal led by Value Quest Scale Fund and Iron Pillar. The money is going to be used to scale up operations, new recruitments, marketing initiatives, and expansion in global markets. For more on this funding and how it will strengthen the company's market position, I have with me Kumar Abhishek, the founder and CEO of ToneTag. Kumar, thanks very much for being with us here on Startup Street. You know, the $78 million funding round is a mix of primary and secondary capital. How is the allocation going to drive your next phase of growth, and what strategic priorities are you going to focus on first?
Right. Thank you, first of all, for having me here. We are a B2B product company wherein we build one of the finest protocol, a global scale acoustic protocol. Is very similar to how NFC or a Bluetooth works, right? But what we have built works on sound waves, right? So one of the key utilization of this fund is going to, help us expand the utilization of this protocol outside of India. Currently in India, we work with a lot of banks and large enterprises and posting roughly 30 million interactions a day. We see the utilization of this protocol, at a lot of other geographies globally, and that's where one of the focus will be. The second would be to make financial services and commerce in India, especially digital commerce, more accessible, faster, reliable, and cheaper, right? Whether it is doing within India or it is cross-border, right? So we'd like to use this technology to make sure, these four things are addressed.
Sure. Well, Kumar, you said you process about 30 million interactions on a daily basis. What is the revenue model behind the scale? How soon do you expect to be profitable if you're not there yet?
We are already profitable. We took, so far we have only raised 12 million, but all of that went towards the product. And once that was out there, we started monetizing it like a SaaS company. So we are not in the hands of consumers directly. Consumers use us through our partners. So they may be using a banking app or a large enterprise partner app, and we are inside it. So we charge our partners a SaaS revenue, which is a monthly subscription-based fee. and there are certain transactional-based fees as well.
All right. You spoke about your plans to enter markets like Asia, South America, the Middle East. How are you going to localize ToneTag's offerings for these diverse markets? And, what is the estimated revenue contribution from this international expansion?
So look at India, we would cross north of 200 crores this year. And I think that we want to at least double down that right here in India. Meanwhile, we'd love to add, another 50 to 100 crores from outside Indian markets. One good thing which India gives, especially in financial services, is that we are one of the most advanced nations today when it comes to financial services. So what we are building here will be of great use to our neighboring countries, right? Whether it's Asia or Middle East. And especially also we see a great utilization of this product in Southern America, as well as Australia and Japan, right? Although they will be, we'll go there a little later in our growth cycle. But yeah, if you look at most of these markets, they have also started creating and scaling utilities like UPI, something very similar to what UPI does. We are also seeing them adopting crypto, whether it's in a form of stablecoin or central bank digital currency.
Sure.
Product seamlessly with all of this. Yeah.
Well, you spoke about the sort of growth you've seen in the India market. It is a large market, but there are also many players like, your PhonePe, Paytm on one hand, and then you also have tech companies and legacy financial institutions that are innovating when you talk about frictionless payment. What is going to be your defense strategy?
No, we are their partners. So a lot of these names which you just mentioned, they're our partners. They use our tech stack, and we are helping. So we are partnering them to make sure that they can reach millions of more consumers, can make their payment services more accessible, more reliable, right? So those are the things which we are offering them to make sure that payments could become more ubiquitous and accessible in the country. So we don't go direct. So they are not our competitors. We work with them.
Okay. All right. No competition there at all. But beyond payments, Kumar, where do you see the biggest growth opportunity for voice-based commerce, and what's next for ToneTag in 2025?
So we think that there's something which is definitely going to happen, and we are already seeing is consumer experience, right? We think that consumer experience will be the core driver for any payment and commerce going forward, right? Because the basics are already sorted, right? I mean, payment is accessible, commerce is accessible. It's just that what we are going to do in terms of adoption, making sure that a lot of people who are not digital savvy can also start benefiting from these, right? So which means consumer experience will be paramount. And that's where I think our focus has been. We work with our partners to ensure that these things are getting more attention. We are solving for consumer experience. And that's what I think where most of the growth is going to come. The second is a mix of software and IoT.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of us are not able to appreciate just the software piece of things. So think about this. If you have to work on a website and you don't have a phone, right? Because you got a phone, then there were apps, and then it was so easy for you to operate. Yeah. Or say Alexa at your home. If Alexa was not there as a device, it was very difficult for you to use voice and ask.
Absolutely.
So we think a combination
of Kumar,
will be our next growth cycle as well.
All right, and we wish you the best with it. That's all the time we had today. Thanks very much for joining us here on Startup Street.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we'll move on. Ashley Menezes, who's the partner and COO of Chris Capital, expects 2025 to look much like 2024 for the capital markets, but he believes valuations in India are running high. Now, speaking on the sidelines of the IVCA Conclave 2025, he shared his take on the market outlook with my colleague, Rachna Dhanrajani. Take a look at that conversation.
I think the capital markets have been strong, in 2024. you're seeing a little bit of a dip, but I don't think that's going to be radically different in 2025. So the opportunities will be there, both in terms of companies going public, etc. So from an exit perspective, that route and that avenue is open. Valuations tend to be high in India, and I think that's a reality that one needs to get used to. But I think there are investment opportunities. So there is a funding winter in certain sectors or certain types of companies, but I think generally we're still seeing 2024 was slow, but not not a full stop. And so we think things will improve from that front. You'll see a lot more activity in 2025 across sectors.
What are you think themes that are being picked on by others as well for the rest of the 2025 and going forward?
So one is, as an industry, today, alternate capital encompasses the whole gamut of investment, opportunities and ranges and categories. So it could be things like credit, things around, AIF, Cat 3. We've seen, growth capital, venture capital, seed investing, all of that sort of pick up. Real estate, infrastructure, sustainability type projects, climate impact funds, etc. There's a whole bunch of those. So from an industry perspective, we are, it's encouraging to know that the industry has reached at some level of maturity where you're seeing a lot of the action, even buyouts, right? Chris Capital, as a fund, we will try and focus on things that we know and understand well. So some of the sectors, technically we're sector agnostic, but the sectors that we like are financial services, pharma, healthcare, enterprise tech, a little bit of consumer, new economy, a little bit of manufacturing. So those are some of the sectors that we followed, tracked, researched and understand better. I think we'll try and do a lot more in those sectors. Obviously, if there's a right opportunity, we'll do more things beyond that as well.
Okay, we're going to take a short break on that note, but up next, from building a media empire to championing social change, Ronnie and Zareen Screwwala's journey has been a transformative one. A special report on the impacts Swadesh Foundation has had coming up after this short break. From building a media empire to championing social change, Ronnie and Zareen Screwwala's journey has been a transformative one. As co-founders of Swadesh Foundation, they're working to uplift rural communities across Maharashtra. My colleague Shruti Mishra spoke with both of them in one of the villages that was impacted by Swadesh Foundation to learn how they're improving lives with sustainable solutions. We leave you with this special report on the transformational journey of Swadesh Foundation.
In the heart of rural India, where communities have long faced challenges in health, education and economic opportunities, one foundation is rewriting the narrative, the Swadesh Foundation.
सबसे बने देश, सबसे बने देश, सबसे बने देश.
In villages like Kavelawadi, Swadesh has not only built 65 toilets but also empowered 9 households through poultry initiatives and supported the establishment of 35 new orchards, helping families grow sustainable livelihoods, making it what the foundation calls a dream village.
में पानी नहीं था, उन्होंने पानी ला दिया क्योंकि बहुत लंबे से लाना पड़ता था हमको. मतलब 4-4-5 औरतें है ना, 4-4-5-5 वो घड़ी है ना, वो लेके आती है पूरा ऐसे पहाड़ी चढ़ के. तो अभी उन लोगों ने क्या, पहली बात तो औरतों के लिए उन्होंने पानी लाया, तो मतलब हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा हो गया क्योंकि पूरे से आधा दिन तो पानी लाने के लिए जाना पड़ता था.
स्वदेश वाले आई तो गोलियां वगैरह रखते हैं.
Swadesh Foundation has given us medicines, and I'm very happy that my kids go to school and the village Anganwadi too has a lot of kids.
आणि अंगणवाडी पण चांगली भरते.
हमारे बच्चों ने तालुका लेवल तक बहुत सारे किताब जीते. उनमें उन्होंने सिंगिंग कंपटीशन में फर्स्ट नंबर लिया है, डांस में 3rd नंबर लिया है, और उन्होंने जो प्ले रहता है नाटक में 2nd ले रहे हो, और स्पोर्ट्स में लंगड़ी में उन्होंने 2nd नंबर निकाला है, और वो पाली तक जाकर आए हैं और अच्छी तरह सब बच्चे यहाँ पर पढ़ रहे हैं.
स्वदेश फाउंडेशन आल्यानंतर आम्हाला एक शेळीपाळनचा व्यवसाय जोडून दिलेला आहे.
Swadesh Foundation has taught us goat rearing, which has given us a new livelihood. Earlier, we used to earn 300 to 350 rupees as laborers and make 50,000 rupees a year. Now, as a cattle rearer, we make 1 lakh to 1,50,000 rupees a year.
50,000 होते ते आता 1 लाख 1.5 लाख रुपये असं उत्पन्न वाढलेलं आहे.
One of Swadesh Foundation-led villages in Maharashtra, I'm at a tribal village called Kavelawadi. 5 years ago, if you had come down to the village, none of the following would have been true. Today, the village has a working youth population, access to clean drinking water and sanitation. And in fact, not just this village, but with a team of over 11,000 community volunteers, 270 plus full-time working professionals, Swadesh Foundation in the last 12 years has impacted over 3,300 hamlets in the districts of Raigad and Nashik, with an estimated population of 1.1 million. Let's go across to the founders to know more about the foundation's work. Ronnie and Zarina, many thanks for joining us on CNBC TV18. Ronnie, let me start with you. You're operating with a mindset of empowering 1 million rural Indians every 5 years. Now, what does this target mean for the foundation and how do you measure impact?
The first ranking is we want to empower. Whether we do it in 5 years or 7 years is a journey. 1 million people, non-negotiable. Empowering, non-negotiable. 5 years to 7 years, negotiable. Very practical, very this thing, provided we look at the holistic model. So I think what we've been very, very clear about is the holistic model. We have our own teams here. We're an execution foundation. We focus on change, very interconnected with everything that we do here. So very, very. And see, the empowerment cannot happen by just creating infrastructure or by giving charity. Empowerment happens when you change mindsets, you raise aspirations, you let them own themselves, and you become more dispensable. Real empowerment is when you make yourself totally dispensable and totally redundant.
Zarina, talk to us about the 4E strategy and the kind of impact it has made so far.
The idea is to search for a model that can lift 1 million people out of poverty every 5 years. And we found the secret is community-driven change. And that is the essence of our 4E strategy. So it starts with the first E, which is engage. So we engage with the community, we really understand them, we respect them, we listen to them, we try to see things with their perspectives, and we also try to slowly now build aspirations. So that's one. Then the empowerment process is the establishment of the Village Development Committee, which is the real heart of Swadesh today. It's 10 volunteers roughly, half male, half female, and a few youth, who actually are taught how to dream. How we speak about mental poverty and the removal of mental poverty, and it starts with the VDC. And essentially the most important and beautiful thing is they're volunteers from their own community. They don't think of themselves as poor. They think of themselves as rich. That is the empowerment strategy, where they're trained to do a variety of things. And then we have the execute E, the third E, where we actually start rolling out the programs with the community, with other expert NGOs as our vendors and partners, with the government, and with many, many donors. And then we have the fourth E, which is exit, which actually is like a circle. You know, the more you engage and empower, the easier your exit becomes. And I'm sure you're going to ask me, have you exited?
Yes.
And the question is, we have not yet exited. But we are now building an infrastructure, which you'll see later. You'll meet the CDCs and the VDCs, and you'll realize that it is possible.
Operating with a holistic 360-degree approach to development, Swadesh focuses on 4 key areas: health and nutrition, water and sanitation, economic development, and education. So far, over 500,000 individuals have directly benefited from these programs, creating a ripple effect of positive change. But how does the foundation measure impact and accountability in its dream villages?
I think measurement of impact is exactly what you'll see. The report card was pretty much there. You saw the 5 charts. We didn't make the 5 charts. It's in their languages. The 5 charts of saying before, after is a massive concept in rural India if we can get people to talk about, right?
And Ronnie, if I can just add, you know, the ROI of this work is so sensational. You saw that for every rupee of investment, there's a 20x. And it's a social return on investment in some cases, but actually monetary return on investment in other cases. So where do you get a 20x?
This is bigger than FDI, because I want to tell you that if you don't have a 20x ROI on the social impact, that's where your road to Viksit Bharat.
Ronnie, one final question that I would like to ask you. Swadesh Foundation listed on the Social Stock Exchange, making it the biggest listing so far. You had, over 150 individuals across industries participate. You've got, I believe, 8 projects already listed. What is the target? What kind of funds you hope to mobilize, let's say, in the next 4 to 5 years?
Annual outlay is about 80 to 100 crores every year. So this is a step in that direction. I think the Social Stock Exchange and the National Stock Exchange gives us that credibility that people want to give back, but they don't know how to give back. So I think overall on an annual basis, we'd like to do that on a quarterly basis. We'd like to raise 10 to 20 crores. It's not the raising. Again, it's not the raising. It's the fact that just that 150 people more that connected with that. And now we update them. So they got a photograph of before, after on the toilet or on the person or on the skilling youth. Whatever is he earning now, what is she earning later? So actually, awareness and evangelism is the next 25 years of what this needs to get done.
We need to make rural cool.
Making rural cool, one village at a time. At the heart of Swadesh's mission is education. The foundation has awarded 598 excellence scholarships for professional courses and nearly 9,500 mass scholarships for students in grades 11 and 12.
I know about Swadesh that time, लेकिन मुझे ये मालूम नहीं था कि अगर मेरी सिस्टर ले रही है तो फिर स्वदेश मुझे भी देगी क्या. हमने सोचा कि नहीं, घर में एक ही फ़ायदा मिलेगा. लेकिन बाद में थोड़ा इंक्वायरी किया तो उन्होंने बताया कि ठीक है, तुम कर सकते हो तो तुम्हें हम देंगे. मतलब एग्ज़ाम ली, इंटरव्यू वगैरह लिया, और फिर मैंने जर्नलिज्म एंड मास कम्युनिकेशन पुणे में किया. अभी आई एम डूइंग MBA in Pune, VIIT.
I've just completed my bachelor's in physiotherapy in the last October 2024. So I'll be receiving a gold medal. I have had distinction in 2 subjects. I am first in cardiorespiratory physiotherapy all over Maharashtra and first in final year all over Maharashtra.
Since I was funded by Swadesh, giving back to the community is always my first choice.
Till date, Swadesh has impacted over 150,000 students across 1,400 plus schools, 843 Anganwadis and 41 junior colleges. The foundation has also trained 1,200 plus principals and provided in-service training for over 3,500 teachers. Having already established 200 dream villages across Maharashtra, Swadesh Foundation now aims to uplift 1 million people out of poverty every 5 years.